All right, we should be back. The audio should be working, and we have some more Uncanny Adventures. Shadows Over Stillwater, the Call of Cthulhu Old West campaign. So, we've been away for 2 weeks. In our last session, the group was successful in collecting one Mr. Hanready, who they had been looking for. They found him on his brother-in-law's claim, assisting with mining for silver. He didn't put up too much of a fight. He seemed like maybe he wanted to, but perhaps the proximity to his family tempered
Or to the
his...
or to a shotgun.
One or two shotguns can help temper the instinct to run. That's true. But they were able to collect him without much trouble. There was a near situation with the young man that is Mr. Hanready's nephew. Poor little Mark. He just really worships the ground his uncle walks on, and it was very hard for him to see these strangers come and take his uncle away. But he understood, for the most part. He didn't maybe shadow them on the trail and maybe think about planning some things until he was spotted and got caught and had to come out because his dad made him. But Hank is tucked away in the local jail, and the group has made their way back to settle in at the Sweetwater Saloon for the afternoon, kind of rest their weary backs and legs from the ride. Woohoo! Thank you. And they are now settled in at the saloon, so we're going to say hello to everybody again and see what people are getting up to, as there were some nice warm baths drawn last time, some alcohol consumption, and things of that nature in the evening. So let's go around and say hi, and then we're going to play some Cthulhu. So let's start tonight. Why don't we start with Vex?
Hi, Vex playing Kiyo Higa. The person who more or less is the reason why we didn't get into a conflict by threatening people with shotguns. It worked. It just works.
Shotguns solution. No.
Shotgun
All right.
diplomacy.
It's true. And how about Callie?
Unmute myself. I'm Callie playing Olive Archer. She's a little drunk right now, but she's heading to bed, and we'll see if she actually goes to bed. I don't know.
We will see. And how about D-Sword?
Hi everybody, I am Derek Sword, D-Sword on Twitter, D-Sword16, I'm sorry, on Twitter. And I'm playing Solomon, or Sol to his friends, Henson. He's a Civil War Union veteran who is, I think, comfortable with how the day's events went, but perhaps a little nervous about the next leg of the trip.
All right, and Vivacia.
Yep, this is Vivacia. I'm playing Viola Markward, the doctor. So while Kiyo and Viola were enjoying their baths, because we were gruddy, and as often as Viola fell off the horse, she probably had dust everywhere. Olive, who hit her head, decided that she had to drink, so the doctor didn't like that. So she got fussed out, and now we're on our way to bed.
Excellent. All right, so now that you have settled in and you're at the Sweetwater Saloon, and Samuel Phibbs, the bartender, is once again milling about, doing his usual, providing beverages, food, unsolicited advice, and other things. So, I do believe, Solomon, you had some ideas of what you wanted to do while the rest of the group were handling their evening business.
Right, yeah, before it gets too dark, Solomon wants to stop by the general store and just drop in on Mrs. Hunter.
Okay. So, you can do that. She is in fact open. It seems she stays open usually until right around dusk, so she's still open this evening. When you swing by, she is she's got her young son sweeping, kind of, he's out on the front porch sweeping as you come by, and she's just sort of going through, she's got a little notebook, and she's kind of going through and maybe doing a little bit of a inventory, wandering about, sort of making some notes.
Evening, Ms. Hunter. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing just fine. Just getting some things organized before we close up for the evening. How can I help you tonight?
Right, I do respect that it's getting late. I don't mean to take too much of your time. I just needed a small something or other. You do sell some dynamite and explosives for the miners around here, isn't that correct?
Oh, we do sell that to them when they come in looking for it. I can see if we have any left over from our last shipment that came in.
I wasn't particularly looking for explosives, but more a tertiary item to them. Do you also sell earplugs? Or anything to beeswax, anything that can kind of block out sound?
I'm sure we have something. Just give me a second. And she sort of goes wandering over to a couple of shelves and starts sort of poking around. And she eventually comes back, and she does have some very interesting looking, almost like corks that are ear-sized. And she's like, well, these do.
Yes, ma'am. I think that these will do just fine.
I usually just give them along with the purchase of the dynamite and things like that. So if you just want to take a set, I usually get some in when I order them, and I get it as kind of a package deal. So
if that's fair to you, ma'am, I don't mind paying for them. But actually, I don't want to leave without patronizing your business in some way. So if you have some rock candy, I'll take that off your hands as well.
Oh, sure. What's that? Let me see. I do think little Mark Probst bought a little bit, but I think I've got some left. And she wanders to another shelf behind the counter, and she pulls out some candy and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I have a couple varieties here of various candies you can get. They're a penny a piece if you want to take a look.
And he'll just grab. He's not particularly looking for any particular flavor, but he'll grab a couple. The next time that the Probushes come into town, if you could just add this to my order, just have some rock candy setting aside for Mark. He's a good boy, and if I think he might appreciate that.
Oh, I will. He and Luke are actually spending the night. I've set them up in my guest room for this evening.
Well, if they happen to come in before they leave, yeah, we did. If they happen to come in before we leave, we'll definitely let them know that there's some setting aside for them.
Okay, we will definitely do that. And she takes maybe a little bit of what's left, and you see her kind of set it off behind the counter so that she has it all set up.
And then, yeah, he's gonna thank her for that, and he'll take his rock candy and earplugs and head towards the sheriff's office and the town jail.
All right, as you're leaving, yep, you see her kind of make another note in her little notebook, and then you see her kind of go behind the counter, and she's got kind of her ledger book back there, and she kind of writes in that too, probably making a note to order more candy and things like that now that you've picked up some of it from her. All right, so you head out. You see Roop sitting on his porch, rocking in his rocking chair. He sees you kind of exiting the general store, and he's like, hello. Puts his hand up and smiles.
Evening, Roop.
Evening. How's your day?
Almost over. How about yours?
Yeah, probably going to let my head down in a bit and get some shut-eye.
All right, then. And Saul will make a quiet note to himself that at least he does sleep, but whether that is, hanging upside down or not, he's still unsure.
Well, at least he tells you he sleeps.
That's right. Is it in one of the coffins? Saul thinks probably.
He just gives you a big toothy grin, and he waves as you walk away. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening to you, Rube.
And you quickly make your way down to Marshal Whitman's office. The door is currently shut. As you approach, you can hear voices inside.
I think he'll listen in before he just opens the door. You know, are these raised voices or is
Roll me a listen check.
Right. There it is.
All right. So, you definitely know they are not raised, and so when you get to the door, you can just hear them kind of. It's more muffled. You can't really make it out. The only thing you can tell is it does sound like Marshall Whitman, and it sounds like Hank's voice, like they're having a conversation. And you do intermittently between the muffled voices of the two men hear who can only be the young man who's in the other cell, the one who has been having issues with speaking and memory and the whole lot since a few days back before you came to town.
I think he'll give just a sharp rap on the door and then just go ahead and open it. Not wait for somebody to say come in or anything, but you know, he's just walking to the sheriff's office. He doesn't want to get shot.
Yep, as you rap on the door and you are already walking in as Whitman's like, come in. Hello there, what can I do for you, son?
I just wanted to take a little time and speak to Hank before the morning comes and just clear things up and prepare. We got a bit of a journey ahead of us, and if you don't mind, it'll take just a moment.
Well, if you're gonna talk to him for a minute, maybe I'll go get a quick nightcap and come back.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Gives you a nod, picks up his hat off the desk and puts it on, grabs his coat off the hook by the door, kind of swings it around, takes one of his guns and slides it in the holster and walks out the door, pulling the door shut behind him. Hank's sitting in his cell against the wall, looks up at you.
Evening, Hank. How is how are the facilities treating you?
Well, the bed's hard as a board. The chow was cold by the time I got it, and apparently I'm not allowed to have a nice beverage before I nod off being in here, so I'd say my sister's place is looking a lot finer every minute that I'm down here.
Well, it is not exactly a 5-star, but you'll be out of it here soon enough. I did want to stop by and have a brief conversation with you and drop off a couple of things I think might perhaps assuage some injuries between the two of us. You mentioned that you were a soldier in the war. Was that correct?
I did, and I did in fact fight in the war before I headed out this way. You did you?
I did. I respect that, and I know that perhaps asking which side might not be most appropriate thing at this time with our country trying to reform itself and bonds of brotherhood and whatnot, but I do respect your service, and it takes a certain passion for something like that.
Oh, I was a very passionate member of my service, let me tell you.
Well, like I said, I respect that. Hank, I do want justice to be done, and I want it to be done as swiftly as possible. I don't want to have any issues as we're heading back to the city tomorrow, and I just want you and I to be on the same page as things were, and I think that if we can come to some sort of agreement that, the less bloodshed, the better, and that when it comes down to it, if you and I can perhaps see eye to eye, if you can show me that you can be trusted, I'm a man of my word, and I will testify on your behalf.
I mean, that would be appreciated. I still think that maybe, you could reconsider and just, let bygones be bygones. My brother-in-law's claim is, it's producing pretty well. I'm not sure what exactly you're all getting paid to bring me back, or bring the person back who seems to be looking a lot like me. But, if I could talk to Luke about, taking a little off the top and making up the difference, then y'all wouldn't lose out on anything. And I mean, we could just sort of brush this whole thing under the rug, and I could stay with my family. You could get on your business. And
Hank, that's not a good way to start. You have to understand the money is only a secondary thing for me. But bringing you in is a matter of, once again, fulfilling my word and being a man of honor and upholding the justice and the law of our country. So I don't want to hear any more of this bribery business, and we'll leave it at that. I did bring a couple of things for you. I did bring you some rock candy because I do know that the food can be mighty awful in these certain situations, and man with a sweet tooth is something to be understood. And I also brought you some earplugs because I do know that your neighbor, unfortunately, has no serious control over what he says or how often he says it, and you need to get your rest. So,
oh yeah, that boy over there, that boy, I think he fell and hit his head hard because he doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He's quiet right now, but a couple minutes ago he was going on and on, not making a single word of sense.
Right, and the last thing I want is for him to drive you insane. So, before we can get you where we need you to. So, yeah, by all means, if you want to use the earplugs and get some rest, here they are. So do that. Do get some sleep. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
He reaches out, and he seems genuinely surprised that you've gotten him both items, and he kind of gives you a side glance, maybe trying to size you up, like, Well, I appreciate that. That's a nice gesture for sure, and it will help with I'm already gonna have trouble sleeping on this solid piece of wood that they call a bed in here.
Yeah, I am sorry for that, but it's for one night.
Yeah, one night on this thing, and then not out on the road, maybe if things are slow, and God, another one when I get to the city, and hopefully if things get sorted out the way I hope, it won't be too bad as far as me getting back here once it's all said and done.
Well, the sooner we address these sorts of things, the sooner it gets resolved. But,
That's true.
I need to get my rest as well, so Hank, take care of yourself and behave, and we'll see you in the morning.
Well, alright. Have a good night then. And he gives you kind of a nod, and you see him kind of sample the rock candy. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Zoom is slow tonight. We're going to give it a minute with the windows. Yeah, we're going to give it a minute with the windows, and then if I'll fix them if Vivacia doesn't come back in a moment or two. But when you are finished, do you head back to the Sweetwater Saloon, Solomon?
If the marshal isn't back, he's at least going to just wait outside the door. I don't think he's going to leave the jail or the sheriff's office unattended.
All right. Yeah, he's gone for a few minutes more, and then he'll eventually you see him making his way back up the road, and he reappears. He looks at you, he nods. He says, did you take care of what you needed, son?
I did. Thank you for the privacy. Well, we'll see you in the morning, and be sure to take care of our boy.
I will. I'll make sure he's all set. Then I'll settle in for the night. But I sleep in the room right off the office here, so I'll keep the door cracked. Pay attention. Make sure he doesn't get into anything.
I'm sure he's in fine hands. You have a good night, so tip his hat.
Tips his hat back to you. Opens the door and walks back in. And you hear as the door's shutting. Hey, where'd you get candy? And Hank's like, I don't have candy. He's like, I don't care if you have. Give me a piece. And the door shuts.
And then, yeah, Saul's gonna head back to the saloon.
All right. So while Saul was gone, Olive, you had some beverages, and both the doctor and Kiyo, you had your baths, and then the doctor, obviously, you came out to find that Olive had been drinking a bit while you were away, and you took Olive up to bed.
Yes, because after she hit her head, she was definitely not supposed to be drinking. Not safe, Miss Olive. Not safe.
And how about you, Kiyo? What's your plan after your evening bath?
She probably, I'm assuming more or less it was like Kiyo went and then Viola went.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably Kiyo got herself dressed and then probably was drinking with Olive when the doctor comes back.
Does Kiyo get quite the admonishing from the doctor as well?
Well, she's probably fussing at everybody around her that knew that she hit her head about, that is not safe. She could get hurt, and seriously, we're all adults here.
Kiyo shrugs like, it helps with the pain.
This is exactly why I am here with all these children. Off to bed, Miss Olive. Off to bed.
Okay.
From behind the bar, Samuel's like, have a good evening. If you need anything, just check in with me or Jason down here.
I'll be sure to holler.
I hope your day in Sweetwater was a good one.
We survived. I think that's always a good day.
That is a good way to look at it, ma'am. And he wanders off, emptying plates and things and glasses from the tables and wiping them down as you're wandering off. So, Kiyo, do you go up to bed or do you stay downstairs and wait for Solomon to get back from his errands?
She'll probably wait for Saul. Enjoy a few more drinks on her own.
All right. So, yeah, you hang out. After a little bit, the two ladies who work here at the Sweetwater, Patsy and Molly, actually join you. It's kind of before the evening, like the busy time of the evening for beverages and things. So they're just kind of taking a load off, getting something to eat. And they're like, how are you today?
Pretty good. Getting to relax here. Getting ready for a trip. Soon.
Oh, where are you going? You just got here.
Fortunately, my point for here was to bring someone back, and well, we caught him, so we're going to be going back to the city.
Oh, who'd you catch?
Hank Hanreedy. Wow, I cannot say that for the life of me.
They both look at you, look at each other, and kind of like they're trying to maybe place who he is, and they're like, "Oh, that's nice." So, are you gonna come back after you finish up your business with that fellow?
Honestly, I have no clue where the road's gonna take me. For now, should kind of just shrug the point up. Got them to join. They seem like they're gonna get into trouble.
Them?
Olive and Olive, the doctor.
They kind of look at each other again.
The drunk girl and the person yelling at everyone for her.
Oh, okay. Oh, they just went upstairs.
Yeah.
Ah, all right. Yep. No, we remember them. What was your name again?
Kiyo.
Oh, okay. It's nice to meet you.
She'll offer her good hand to them.
They'll each shake your hand. Oh, it's a shame you're leaving. I know Stillwater's kind of dull, but it's nice to have new faces in town.
I can understand that. I'm currently trying to find a place of my own right now too, so.
Oh, that's fair. Have you are you like looking for like a house or start a business? What are you trying to do?
I'm looking to start a town.
Oh, a
Little
whole
place.
like the whole thing.
Whole thing. Little place of my own.
That's
Like-
okay.
The shocked look on everyone's faces at that.
The girls just kind of both look at each other again like they'd never considered that kind of a big proposition.
I mean, to make the point, Kiyo is very much rich, so.
And as you're having this conversation, Solomon, you do make it back to the saloon. Both Patsy and Molly see you come in and kind of wave, "Hi, welcome to the Sweetwater Saloon."
Evening, ladies. Kiyo,
How you doing, Sol?
doing all right. Just had to get on the same page with Hank, but I think that nothing else. We smoothed over some of the ridges, and tomorrow should be hopefully.
Smooth sailing, hopefully.
One can only hope. But we should probably get some rest soon. I don't mean to give you a bedtime or anything, but you know yourself best.
She just kind of grins and nods. I plan to get going soon. I know we have an
Alright.
early day tomorrow, and we got the cart to manage.
Yeah, always always something new to add. But I'm gonna head up now, so I'll see you bright and early.
Enjoy your sleep.
Thank you.
Saul makes his way upstairs. You hear as you pass by the small closet that doubles as Duncan's room, a low snoring sound. It does sound as though Duncan has settled in and is sleeping for the evening.
Yeah, that's a comfort and also not. Oh well, it's Duncan.
And Kiyo, do you turn in for the night or do you want to do anything else
Yeah.
beforehand?
Nah,
Okay.
she'll probably just turn in for the night.
Okay. So you all settle in for the evening, and one by one in your rooms nod off to sleep. I need everyone to roll me a listen check, please.
Just barely a success. Jeez.
Okay.
I got a success too.
All right. And just a
I
regular
must be
success?
snoring too loud.
All right. So, Saul, you're the first one to be startled awake when you hear what sounds like this explosions at a distance from somewhere outside the window of your room. And you just hear this pop, 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 pop. And as your eyes kind of come open, you also are startled because along with the sound, you can see that there's lights in the distant sky popping off too in the darkness beyond the window.
So he can see it from his bedroom window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna rifle through his bag real quick and pull out his trusty binoculars and see if he can. I mean, he figures they're probably the fireworks they've heard about, but he's gonna see if he can determine anything else by looking through them.
All right, so you have your binoculars. Roll me a spot hidden check as all right, so you look through them, but you realize that as you're looking, These things seem to be getting set off somewhere outside of town, like out on the mesa in the distance. So you can't get a really good look at who or what's setting them off. Meanwhile, in the rooms down the hall, both Kiyo and Olive, you are startled awake. Probably maybe 30 seconds or so after Sol is woken. And you also hear this popping sound coming from outside the building. And the three of you also are starting to hear like voices. Like you hear voices inside the saloon itself, and you also are starting to hear voices from outside, like people are coming out into the street.
Yeah, Kiyo is like almost immediately, the moment she hears a pop, her gun is in her hand and she's at the door. Or another window, probably.
Yeah, and
right.
People are moving. Sorry, go ahead, Callie.
No, go ahead.
When Olive hears that, she looks out the window real quick and then runs to the door, throws the door open, and runs down the stairs and goes into the street.
So outside Kiyo and Sol's rooms, you hear thump, 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 thump. Olive, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you see the small door to Duncan's little closet room swing open, and he's coming out. He's doesn't have his shirt. He's just got like his suspenders on that he's like pulling up, and he puts his hat on. And he's like running down the stairs, like what's going on? What's going on? What's that noise?
Duncan, please.
What? What's that noise?
Just go put a shirt on first.
Show
He looks
some
down.
decency, man.
He looks down. He's like, "Pardon me." Spins at the landing, runs back into the little closet room, and you hear him trip over something in the room.
True hoarder of Call of Cthulhu.
At that point, Doctor, you are woken by, it sounds like somebody stumbling and slamming onto the floor somewhere down the hallway from your room.
So yeah, so she comes up and she's like, what? And she kind of just, she opens the door. What in the ever-loving are you doing out here?
As you open the door, there's a window at the end of the upper rail, right kind of outside where your door is, and as you do, there's another pop outside, and the whole sky outside lights up like red, white, and oranges.
Oh, freaking fireworks, and she kind of like stomps out. Yeah, who is setting up fireworks in the middle of the goddamn night? Just really, really grouchy, and just like who's setting off these fireworks? We gotta have a talk with him, and just.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go see what everybody was doing and then go talk to Lee, because this is crazy. I'm trying to sleep, but I have a headache.
That's what happens when you drink, young lady. Right. So, I'm guessing we're all kind of stumping towards the door. Is Duncan dressed by now?
He does come stumbling back out. He is wearing his shirt. Now he's wearing it over, like, his suspenders, because he already had those on, so he just pulled it over the top. And so it's kind of, like, billowing loose. He didn't... it's tucked in the front, but it looks like when he got to where the suspenders were and he realized, he just left it. So he's just going.
Yeah, Kiyo's came out in her sleepwear with a probably with her duster on over top just to cover up a bit more.
Yeah, Sol's thrown on his jacket, and he's at least grabbed his rifle as well.
Oh yeah, no, Kiyo has her weapon, her gun, her pistol, and her probably in a band, and then her parasol as well.
All right.
And
so...
I think the first thing Sol's doing is he's running to the sheriff's office and making sure this isn't some diversion to try to,
Okay, so you all come outside, and Sol bolts down the street in the direction of the marshal's office. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to where I think Lee is. I'm gonna talk to him.
So Olive runs in the direction of... Do you run in the direction where you think the fireworks are being set off, or do you run for his laundry building?
I go to the... Oh, God. I'll go towards where the fireworks.
Well, you can tell. I will say that Olive can tell once she gets outside that the fireworks do seem to be like being set off somewhere, like a distance outside of town. Like they're not being set off in the middle of town. They're being launched from the mesa in the distance, and they're shooting out over the sky.
And do I see like Lee or any of the people that I met the other day in the street?
You don't see Lee. You do see Roop. He's standing in the middle of the road looking down the street in the direction of the fireworks. You also see Luke Probsch, you see Mark Probsch, and you see Miss Hunter from the general store on the porch of the general store sort of giving a look around. Mark's kind of he's like, Daddy, look, Daddy! Wow! Oh, look at those! Those are so nice! And Luke's kind of scratching his head like he hasn't seen these before. But Mrs. Hunter is just sort of standing there looking up like, oh, Mr. Lee, it's not the 4th of July, my friend. It's not the 4th of July yet. And Samuel kind of lumbers out onto the porch behind you all. Oh, what in Sweetwater's going on now?
Kiyo just kind of shrugs this. Someone's setting off fireworks, and she'll chase after Olive. Because she's not like a person who is potentially still hungover and has a concussion run off on her own into danger, potentially.
And
she'll
Olive,
look to the doctor before she runs off and says, mind accompanying Solomon to where he's going, just in case?
Well, I can definitely go check on him and our friends in the jail. Please make sure Miss Olive doesn't hit her head again.
I'll do my best.
Thank you so much.
So, Olive, are you going to try to head out to see where these are getting shot off, or are you going to go see if you can find Lee at his business?
Well, I remember that they said that Lee sometimes sends out people to go shoot off the fireworks, and so that he doesn't seem like the suspect. So I think I'm going to go to the business and knock on the door. And not just knock on the door, but pound on the door. Like, if I'm being woken up, then he's being woken up.
I dig this style of payback.
All right, so Olive runs up the road in the direction of Lee's laundry, and you can see like on the 3rd story, there are a couple of people kind of like looking out the windows, but you don't see Mr. Lee up there. So when you get to the door and you pound on the door, boom, 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 and maybe about 30 seconds go by, and then you hear like latches turning, and the door swings open, and Mr. Lee is standing there, and he looks at you and goes,
in rapid Chinese, I say, "What is happening? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? What is that?"
He like steps back a little bit and looks down at Olive, and he responds in Chinese, I'm not doing that. That's not mine. I shoot off the fireworks on the 4th day of July. In the summer. This is not the summer. This is not the 4th day of July. I have no fireworks. This is not my fireworks.
Who is that? Who is that?
Perhaps it's some other locals doing this to hurt my business, or perhaps it's some kind of signal for someone. I don't know. They do this every week or so now. They fire off fireworks over the city.
And it's not you or any of the people that work with you? Because the town seems to think it's you.
Because I shoot off fireworks one day a year. One day. Just one. And Kiyo, you come running up, and this, like, rapid fire back and forth is going on. Do you speak Chinese?
No, she does not.
Alright, so you're just like... Oh.
Just kind of sits there and just watches them. And then looks to all and say, should we maybe check the fireworks out?
Yes! I'm not wearing shoes!
You're
All right,
a bit
let's go.
afraid, aren't you?
Yes. I was mad. All right, bye, Mr. Lee. I'm sorry. Bye.
Goodbye, strange visitor.
I love Olive's style of reporting. It's a 1 or it's a 10. There is no middle ground.
She reminds me of Piper from Fallout 4.
Yes.
I like to, as Olive like turns and bolts in the other direction without shoes, the first thing Mr. Lee does is look at her feet to assess that, yes, there are no shoes. And then, like, just leans further out the door to watch them run away. So strange. And they think I'm lighting off fireworks. Turns, shuts the door behind him, and you hear the latch click into place.
I picture just Kiyo standing there for a moment, just watching Oliver run and bolt off. And then just nodding and following her.
So, Solomon, you have made a beeline for Marshal Whitman's office, and you do catch sight behind you following at maybe a little bit slower pace. Viola is following you behind. When you come up the road, you kind of come around the corner, you can see that Marshal Whitman is kind of standing in the middle of the road a few steps from the porch of his office. He's just got, no overcoat on or anything. He's kind of doesn't even have his hat on. It looks like he came out without it. And he's got like some kind of like slipper shoes that he wears during the night, looking up at the sky, just shaking his head. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Mr. Lee about the timing on this and letting me know when he's gonna pull the... hello there, Mr. Henson.
Evening, Marshal. Is everything all right? I feared the worst.
No, just another one of Mr. Lee's impromptu evening performances, apparently.
How often does this shit happen? Because this is... excuse my language, but yeah, well, people are trying to sleep, obviously. Is this a weekly thing?
Actually, there was just a set of fireworks set off, what? Oh, you came into town yesterday?
That's right, yeah.
I think it was like 3 days before you got here. They'd set them off, so they're starting to do them in closer and closer together.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, yeah, you have a conversation with whoever you need to, but yeah, this is highly irregular, and do make sure that that Hank is where he needs to be.
Oh, and he motions back inside. Yeah, he's in there. He's sleeping though. I don't know how he's still sound asleep. That other one's in there hooting and hollering up a storm, and you can hear like him like yelling and kind of clanking the bars. I had to do a double check to make sure your boy wasn't dead.
I gave him some earplugs because of the other individual in there, the neighbor, hooting and hollering. So I guess they came in extra handy. All right, well, I'm going to assume that Miss Olive went to go talk to Mr. Lee, so we're going to go see if we can track him down and her as well. If I remember right, she wasn't wearing shoes, so hopefully she hasn't gotten too far.
That's the reporter one that you got with you.
Yeah, that's right. I just don't want her stepping on a scorpion. They come out at night, and it's always the small ones that you can't see. And
what'd she do? She go looking, because she not heading up there to go talk. I was going to wait for him to come back into town, because I'm not going up there this late at night. I don't need to get chased out by any of the locals up that way.
What do you mean chased out by any of the locals?
Oh, there's this fella from the Chiricahua that he's got a little group that they kind of patrol the mesa up there on a regular basis, and they've had some altercations with some people in town, so being out there late at night without a couple extra people, probably not the best idea.
Thank you, Marshal. I best be on my way then. And he'll tip his hat and go, Doctor, I think we better go.
Oh, good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, sir. Please make sure that our young friend doesn't hurt himself while he's yelling and screaming in there. I don't want him banging his head against the wall or the... The bars.
I think he's all right. I think he's trying to, seems like he's trying to get a better look at the show. I mean, I don't think he could do him too much more damage than had already been done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I would hate to have to come back and stitch him up, though.
That's a fair point. All right.
Mr. Sol, let's go check up on Miss Cracked Noggin and make sure she's all right.
That's a good plan.
The doc is grumpy. She does not like to be woken up.
And they'll head towards. Well, I guess Doctor, did Olive and Kiyo say where they were heading?
I saw them running towards Mr. Lee's business, so I'm guessing that's where they're going.
I figured the same. So yeah, they'll run towards Mr. Lee's business.
All right. So you turn and head back, and so Olive, where are you running toward? Are you running back to get your shoes?
Yes.
So as you're coming back up the main road, you see a familiar figure dart across the open street, heading back into the Sweetwater Saloon. And probably as you yourselves get to the porch, Kiyo, I would assume, is very casually walking.
Yes, she is. Very casual-like. And she'll look to the other two and say, she's got a lot of energy for being woken up early.
Go grab my weapon,
right.
too, since she's going to get her shoes, and I'll meet you out here. And she kind of just stomps inside, still grumbling to herself. Down the middle of the night.
Kiyo, are we planning on going up and investigating those fireworks?
Olive seems set on it.
All right. Well, I did learn that ridge is patrolled by some of the indigenous folk here, and sometimes they're might not too friendly to people that come around at night. So, if we do that, we best be quiet and courteous if we are encountered.
Of course.
And another thing. Let's go. Ah!
All right. Well, we'll have to settle for courteous.
Kiyo just kind of gives a look to Solomon. He just kind of nods, shakes her head a little.
Duncan is was still kind of like sitting on the edge of the porch watching the show, and he turns as Olive comes out yelling, and he wait, we go somewhere? Don't need my boots, my gun, and my horse?
You can stay here, Duncan, if you wanna. Olive's gonna go check it out, apparently. And we're gonna make sure she doesn't get herself hurt.
Go check out what? Fireworks? You just gotta sit, Miss Olive, you just gotta sit right here on the edge of the porch, and you can see a perfect clear view of the fireworks from right here on the edge. See, I'm sitting right here, and I can see them right there.
I feel like Olive's already gone.
Okay.
Duncan, my head hurts.
I don't know why you're running then. My head hurts. I usually just sit very still.
Go on back to bed. Everything will be fine. Or enjoy the show, whatever you like. But yeah, don't feel any obligation. I think we'll be all right.
Oh, all right. Oh, Can I stay and watch the rest of the show right here?
Ain't nobody gonna stop you.
Oh, good. All right. It's a nice show. All right. So, are you going to go on foot, or do you plan to go and get your horse and take your horses with you?
I mean, horses in the dark when we really can't see where we're going.
I had the same thought.
With my track record.
We've given our recent track record. I think Olive isn't even thinking about horses, is my assumption, too.
And don't we might want to take a lantern or something? I don't know. How high is the moon?
The moon it's not a full moon, but it's bright enough to see at least somewhat well. You can, does anybody want to give me like a navigate roll to kind of guess how far out that location is?
We got a 10 out of 20.
Ooh.
Nice.
All right. So you think that it's probably about a mile to that location up on that mesa from town.
Yeah, mile's not too far. Takes a little bit of time to get there.
Midnight run never hurt anybody.
It's true. So,
I'm not gonna lie, that's when I used to do a lot of running around with my old place.
midnight runs are nice. All right, so Duncan is still sitting on the porch while the rest of you are going to try to go and investigate this firework location. So, who's taking the lead on your march out of town and up the mesa?
Olive.
I'm assuming it's Olive, because we aren't gonna catch up to her, is what I assume.
I like it. All right, so let us see. So you head out and you sort of go out the main road out of town, heading kind of north. And you'd guess maybe it had probably been about, a little over 5 minutes or so of running about in town. And the fireworks are still going off. But as you get to the edge of town and sort of start following the dirt road out and up northward in the direction, you'd say maybe after about 10 minutes of the fireworks going off, they stop and they don't go off anymore. So, Olive, since you are leading the way, why don't you roll me another navigate roll?
Oh, a 4.
Ooh.
We're at a 20.
Man.
All right. So you follow the road into kind of this little canyon divot where you can see the mesa start to kind of rise up. And this kind of road sort of leads kind of down the center, and the mesa there's like 2 rising ledges off to your left and to your right. And you sort of kind of go into the shadows of those. But there's enough moonlight so that you all can still see all right. And Olive, you're marching ahead and you're looking around, trying to kind of get an idea of how to sort of ascend up to where you think the fireworks were kind of shooting off from. And you do, after a little bit, locate sort of a trail that kind of meanders off and up in that direction. And it actually looks like it's a pretty fairly often used kind of trail. It's definitely been kind of worn down enough to be visible. And you sort of follow it up and up until you sort of come up to kind of the top edge of the mesa and sort of circle back around and head back in the direction of town a little ways, because you know that the fireworks were being shot off from kind of the edge of it, from what you could tell from town. And you do kind of quickly come on to a location where there is sort of a disturbed patch near the edge. There's some scorch marks and things like that. And you think that this is probably where the fireworks were being shot from.
Do I see anybody?
Why don't you, let's see, roll me a spot hidden roll. And everyone else can too, as you're sort of just following Olive as she's like going up the trail, and then she just hard rights into like the brush, and it takes you all a second to see the trail she found, and then she's just meandering up and then across the top of the mesa, where you have a really good view down, and you can see Stillwater kind of sitting in the low valley about a mile back from where, in the direction you'd come from.
I got a 40 out of 50.
All right.
I got a 20 out of 30.
Okay, so Kiyo and Olive, you're taking a look around, and let's see. So, you find indentations on the ground and in the grass where it looks like some large items were probably set down and placed. One of the indentations has a definitively square shape to it. And there's also a couple of spots where it looks like there's like very specific size holes, kind of in patterns of 3, in like 2 or 3 places. The grass and the scrub in the area are also flattened out in a very wide radius. And kind of your best guess, kind of taking this in, you would think that there may have been at least maybe a dozen people in this area.
Damn.
But you don't see any people currently.
Olive kind of just stomps her feet and like throws a fit real quick. And she turns around at her friends and says,
Kiyo just kind of walks up and pats her on the shoulder.
Yeah,
"What do we do?"
You're all looking around. You don't see any sign of these individuals that you think were here. And they weren't probably not here too long before you got here.
Can we see where they went? Is there any marks? I mean, if they carried stuff.
Why don't we, if you would like to look, roll me a track roll.
Yeah, no. I can't track with crap.
I succeeded.
I succeeded.
I got a 3 under 10.
Ooh. So just a normal success?
Yeah.
Excellent.
There's no way I can get any more than a single success on this one.
All right. So, Kiyo, while everyone else is kind of looking around, you do notice what looks like footprints. You see where your prints came up, you notice that your prints have sort of walked over prints go in the opposite direction. Back down the path you just came up.
Just kind of tap Olive, point to the to the prints, not the fingerprints. And I believe they went that way. If you want to follow them.
I'm probably rooting around trying to see something and I have no clue what I'm looking for. Just kind of like, oh, that way? Oh, yeah, sure. I was going to say that too.
So wait, do the tracks lead back into town?
So the tracks, right now you all are up on top of the mesa. So Kiyo notices that there are tracks that go down the path that you came up to get here, heading back toward that main road that you used to kind of get into the hills here. So they seem to have, you must have missed them at some point because you came up from town, and from what you can see, it looks like they weren't here too long before you got here.
I guess we backtrack now.
I suppose so. Now, you'd think if there were 12 people up here, that's a sizable number in a town where we can, I think, count on our hands the people that we know the names of. You'd think that 12 people going missing in the middle of the night would be something of note.
You'd think. Or maybe it's someone else in a different place. Maybe it's one of the people living in their claim or something.
That's a good point as well. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't seem like they're here anymore, and their tracks do seem to lead back the way that we came in.
All right. So do you backtrack and try to follow their tracks back to their starting location?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Kiyo, since you notice these tracks, you can kind of lead everybody back in the direction you came, and you meander your way back down this trail that Olive had located that led up to the top of the mesa. And when you get to the bottom, where you all came up from the south out of town, you can see your prints coming from that direction. You see these prints that you followed back down look like they turn and lead further north up this main trail, deeper into the canyon itself.
All right. Yeah, Kiyo will point that out and then look to the rest of the group. Kind of like do we follow them? Do we just go back? Seems like they're done firing fireworks for now.
I mean, we might consider coming back in the daylight. But then you don't know if we're still going to be able to see where they're going. And there's no horse tracks, right? So they're on
Kiyo
foot.
does not see. Yep, and Kiyo can point out the tracks to you all too, and so you can see that they do look like they're on foot. Something that Kiyo kind of picks up first, but you all kind of start to notice too is where the tracks kind of start to head north up this trail. You can see where, in some places, they look like they've been sort of swept, like somebody maybe was trying to sweep clean the path so that no one could follow them.
Oh, honestly, I'm going to say this is up to Miss Olive. This was her endeavor to begin with.
My gosh. My reporter instincts are going like this. And she makes like...
Are you sure that's not just a headache, Olive?
You know what? It probably is.
Let's go check it out then.
But, like, I don't want to be stranded out here, like, without a gun. Like, you guys have guns. But...
Kiyo will hand Olive her gun.
Did you not grab your gun, Olive?
I grabbed my notebook!
Kiyo probably has guns everywhere. Like...
No, she only carried a pistol with her, but she'll hand that to Olive.
You know, the written word can be dangerous, just not in this occasion. And honestly, I brought my pistol as well as my rifle, Kiyo. I don't want you to be unarmed, so Miss Olive, you're welcome to my pistol.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
guess
let's
we'll
go.
It.
Let's go.
All right, so let's see. All right, so you are heading north up this trail now. The moonlight, it's there's a lot of shadows inside this canyon with the mesas on either side. But you've got enough light, you feel, still kind of staying close together, sort of trying to stay keep an eye on each other. So you make your way up and along this path. Having a mute is good. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'll live, don't worry. So, as you go, you do see where the path, you can see the tracks, and then you lose them for a little bit because you see where they've been swept aside, and then you kind of pick it up again, and they keep continuing northward through here. And you follow it for a bit of a ways. You probably follow it for a mile or so at first. So you go, maybe another half hour or so passes as you're kind of making your way through here. And you haven't caught up to them yet. They sort of seem like they're continuing on the move deeper and deeper into the canyon. And it's probably at this point, by your best guess, it's getting on to about maybe 11 o'clock at night as you're following along. Do you all want to keep following them?
I'm scared. Oh.
In character or out of character, you're scared?
Out of character, I'm scared. Olive's mad.
She only hit her head. She's not mad.
Yeah, I think we'll keep going as long as we are fueled by the fury of Olive. Yeah.
All right. So you continue following, probably for another, I'd say you go on for probably 2 more miles following this. And it's at this point where you see there is a skull. It's a sun-bleached human skull. The lower jaw of it's missing, and it's been jammed onto a wooden post in the ground just up ahead of you. And as you look past it, you see a few hundred yards beyond it, in the moonlight, more bleached bones scattered across the canyon floor ahead.
Someone's been busy over here.
Could the natives be setting off this fireworks? Because it looks like the kind of not so friendly ones are telling us not to go this way.
Yes, this is a very clear territorial marker. I'm not sure we want to go any further, but if we do, we better be quiet about it.
I don't think Miss Olive is able to be quiet at this moment. However, since we know it does lead to this territory, maybe we should return and do some recon in the morning and see if we can make our way in without getting killed. Because if we're sneaking up on them in the middle of the night, somebody's going to shoot us.
I think the skulls are a warning enough that if we sneak up on them at any time of day, they might just shoot us. Cover of night might actually give us a bit better of a chance in scouting them.
All very good points. And honestly, I don't want to spend any more time tomorrow. I want to hit the road and get this Hank situation solved. So if we are going to investigate this mystery, I figure we might as well do it sooner rather than later.
Miss Olive, are you going to be able to have a grip on yourself, or do I have to sedate you?
I calmed down a little bit.
All right.
This
Take a
is
deep breath in.
terrifying.
Take a deep breath out. Take another deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. My dear, if you start yelling, I'm going to whoop you on the head. All right, let's go. She got her rifle, like, all right, let's do this.
All right, I will say that anyone who wants to, as you're proceeding forward, can make me either a medicine, a natural world, or a science like biology roll to kind of get an idea of the range of these bones and maybe who or what they come from.
What about history?
No history for this one.
Dang it.
Yes, Doctor, the skull with the pike through it. What do you think it died from?
Well, you can tell that that's a
Clearly
human
not
skull.
a dog skull.
But the rest of these, this kind of field of bones that lays beyond it, maybe.
That's definitely a human skull.
Yes, it is. So
Does the doctor want to roll medicine for me?
I already did, and
Oh,
don't
I missed it.
don't you see? I succeeded.
Oh, let me see. Oh,
For
you
once,
did.
I succeeded.
Oh, we got
Proud of you.
all right. So we've got medicine, success, and a natural world. So between the doctor and Solomon, you were able to ascertain that these bones include human remains, cattle, horses, mountain lions, and then some others that you just aren't really sure what exactly they came from because they're all kind of mixed in so intensely here.
Well, at least they're not picky with what bones they choose to leave lying around.
Well, I guess they're trying to tell us we kill everything that comes into our territory.
Including mountain lions. How lovely.
Very lovely.
All right,
So-
well, there's a lot of bones. I'm not sure we deciphered anything further than that, so keep moving, I suppose.
All right. So the group continues moving, and you notice too that as you're moving forward, you're also sort of descending somewhat into the canyon a little bit now. So the mesa on either side of you is rising up even higher, and like it's sort of a gradual descent kind of downward to the point where it kind of seems like it dropped about maybe 50 feet or so in total over the full kind of slide down. And as you are moving along, you travel for probably just about another mile when up ahead you see a larger pile of bones in the distance. This one, the first like bones were kind of spread and sort of in a layer on the ground. This looks like a larger kind of mounded collection of bones. But and even from this distance, it looks like maybe like about 3 foot wide, but then it like goes about 15 feet or so deep, just kind of piled with various bones up there ahead of you.
Oh, at least Paul's gonna get her story.
Does this look something man-made, or is this something that, like, it almost looks like this is an animal's den and this is the leavings?
It's a very precise kind of pile for maybe an animal to have left that you can tell from this distance. It's very, like, concise, kind of, like, controlled pile here.
Okay. A bone pyramid. Lovely.
Kind of. Do you continue to approach it?
My friends, does any of you know of any ritualistic things that would set them up like this? I am not as versed in the occult as I would like to be. I might as well roll it
I
anyways.
see Callie freaking out, but your mic wasn't picking you up. So it was just you bouncing on your chair.
What are you looking for, Doctor?
To see if I ever read or heard of anything leaving like something like that on purpose for ritualistic purposes, but very clearly I have absolutely no clue what's going on.
No, you're not. This does not ring any bells to you. Do you all continue to approach the larger bone pile?
Do the tracks lead there?
They do continue, and they continue deeper into this canyon, and the bone pile is in that direction.
Can we skirt it as far away as we can while still following the trail?
Yeah, Kiyo's gonna probably suggest we stick to the shadows for a bit.
I do not want to touch these bones. Who knows what kind of plague is stuck on that?
I mean, if they're sun bleached, it should be fine.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
would
Sol
you
feels kind
know?
of trapped here, so he's definitely keeping an eye on the ridges on either side.
So, since you all are kind of on edge and kind of looking about, like, carefully, why doesn't everybody roll a spot hidden check for me?
Oh, that's a good start. An even better start. I got 2 degrees. I got a 10 out of 30.
Nice. How did Olive do?
I failed. I failed.
All right. So between Solomon and Kiyo, the two of you, and you're kind of used to, you've worked together in the past. So it's sort of at the same time you notice something. You're not sure if it has anything to do with the bone pile as you're getting closer and you're trying to stay away from it. But you're following these specific tracks, these sort of swept tracks that you've been following. When you both notice another set of tracks going in the same direction deeper into the canyon, but it looks like they've come to the bone pile and moved away from it in frequent numbers. The thing with these tracks is that they, while they seem to be made by somebody who's, bipedal, walking on 2 legs, they seem very thin. There's no, they weren't made by anyone wearing a shoe, so it looks like a barefooted track. But it's strange because it seems like at the tips where the toes should be leaving prints, there's sort of these longer, kind of thin, almost like scratched marks in the dirt in front of where the feet landed each time.
Somebody hasn't clipped their nails in a while.
Are these at all reminiscent of the large bird-like footprints that we noticed? We tracked the strange entity, whatever it was, when we were coming into town.
These are different than those. The other thing Kiyo notices, because your sharp eyes pick this up as you're trying to skirt the bone pile, you notice that these bones, unlike the ones further back that you passed, they look like they have some very deep teeth marks scarred into the bone. And not just like a couple of the bones. Like all of these bones look like they have been chewed and gnawed by some solid, sharp teeth. Why don't you just give me a sanity roll as this kind of like hits you?
Callie looks like she's about to piss herself right now.
Just Kiyo, give me a quick sanity roll on this one because this is kind of disturbing.
Actually, I do have a question.
Yes.
Being from the stuff, being from the war, I think I have something to do with this.
So if you were,
I have the same thing. Yeah.
I think almost all of us do, actually.
Normally, like that, seeing a dead body, it wouldn't set you off too much. This is different. This is like like these bones have been like eaten by something with some significant, like you haven't seen something like this. It kind of sets you off a little bit.
It's the teeth marks more than the dead body. Okay.
I got under my sanity level, so
Okay, so for just a second, it kind of brings you up short and kind of, but you're pretty steady with stuff like this, so you kind of shake it off pretty easily. Though you do get that kind of chill that runs up your spine a little bit from it.
She's not going to point that out because she can. She's like, she's just going to say, "Best be on our guard. Might be something here." That's all she's going to say because she doesn't want to spook the rest of them.
Do you all want to continue deeper?
No.
She's enjoying this too much.
I feel like Callie is just the funniest one here, of just dying.
It's like the difference because Olive is like, go, 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 and Kelly's like,
no.
I'm so sorry. Like, if we all die here, I'm so sorry.
Hey, at least we'll have a hell of a story from it.
Oh God.
I guess we're moving forwards.
Okay.
It's
So
like the horror movie where you can see what the person, like, you're like, no, don't go in that room. No.
all right, so you continue to push deeper into the canyon as it's probably getting on toward midnight, maybe a little after. I would like you all to roll me Constitution rolls, please.
We have to get under Constitution.
Yeah, you'd have to get below your number.
All right, I got a 32 out of 55.
Okay.
43 over 70.
Okay, so everybody succeeded in their Constitution roll. All right.
Reference me in Congress because I'm got an extreme success.
Nice.
I am the Constitution.
You are. So, yeah, so you continue on and you move deeper into the canyon. The night sounds are... It's a little odd. Like, it's very quiet in here as you're proceeding, which probably sets your nerves a little bit off, too. You expect to hear, like, maybe coyotes, maybe mountain lions somewhere in the distance, but it's very quiet as you go. And you basically just hear the crunch of your feet as you're proceeding deeper into the remains of this bone pile. You pass it by, you move further in, and it's maybe another 45 minutes, and up ahead, Olive, you notice something shiny near the far wall to your left of the canyon. Looks like something maybe buried in the sand over there, maybe in the moonlight, broken glass or something, perhaps.
I'll go check it out.
All right.
Olive is that character in the horror movie. All right.
Yes, she is. It's
Yeah,
all
Kelly-
for the story.
Good for you. Good for you. That's
Credit to
prime
you for
role
that.
play. Yeah.
Credit to you for that. Kiyo
All right.
is actually going to stick close to Olive too, because
Okay, so as Olive, you get closer, you see it does look like there is some bits of broken glass and some charred wood and metal sort of buried in the dirt here. I'm gonna see it.
you just went flagged out there.
Yes, yeah, so just a little bit of it is sticking out so you can kind of see it.
Can I brush away the dirt and pick it up?
So you start to brush away, and as you do, you realize that there's a lot more of it under the dirt than there is above the dirt. Like something's buried under here.
I keep going.
All right.
Keep digging.
So Olive is digging, and as she's digging, she starts to unearth some burned wood. She unearths some broken glass, and she keeps digging, and there's like some bigger things she starts to unearth. And there's this like, you realize you're digging out a large hub to a wagon wheel that's buried under here. And as you dig a little bit further, you realize that there is a wagon, a broken and burned wagon that has been buried in the dirt here underneath. Like, you unearth like the back portion of it, and you realize that there's more of it down there. Like, maybe a whole wagon is buried here.
Okay, can't dig that up.
That sounds like quitters talk there.
Who would bury a whole wagon?
How much?
Can we tell how long that's been here? Is it like rotten, or is it still the parts that are not burned? Can we
Go
see if
ahead.
they're soft?
You can roll me an intelligence roll, please, to try to assess how long you think it's been here.
I gotta call Kevin Bacon. This is some tremor bullshit.
Right, I got a
Yep.
extreme. Man, that's the best one I've rolled so far.
Woo! Hey, it's a goodbye
A
thing for you.
9.
The luck for you.
A 9 out of 80.
All right.
Pretty damn good.
So, it appears that this wagon has probably been here for at least 2 months. And also, as you're sort of assessing it, you can see scratched and sort of partially burned something like, it looks like a logo painted on the back portion of the wagon that you've unearthed. Something like, something sales, traveling cart. Some of the words are missing, but it looks almost like this maybe is was a traveling cart for someone selling wares.
Well, maybe this cart belongs to somebody who left their bones over there. These are very unfriendly people.
Yeah, Kiyo's kind of taking a look around, trying to just keep an eye on the surroundings. She doesn't want anything getting a drop on us.
All right, so why doesn't Kiyo give me a spot hidden check? And I need to...
That's a good one. It's my spot hidden. 30. All right, I got a 1 over 30.
Wow. Okay, so 1 second. I don't think that it's gonna do better, but I don't. All right, so as Olive is looking at this wagon, and Dr. Viola leans in and sort of investigates a little closer as well, Kiyo, you notice well up above you, on the opposite side of the mesa from where the wagon is, there is a shadow figure. So this is probably about 75, 80 feet above you, looking down, kind of trying to stay hidden in some of the brush at the top of the mesa head. There seems to be a shadowy figure sort of tracking what you all are doing.
All right. Kiyo is going to very calmly walk to Sol a bit and just try and discreetly motion to where she's seeing the shadow.
Yeah, I figured that because they saw a little bit of time in the war, they can probably hand signals or whatnot. And
Yeah, just kind of just a little jerk of the head.
Yeah, and he'll nod back to her and see if he can notice the figure as well.
Just give me a spot hidden roll there, Solomon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely see the figure up on top, sort of watching.
Can I discern any details about him? Is this a humanoid individual or?
I will tell you in a moment. Vivacia is leaving us, so I'm going to fix the windows. We're gonna go to the be right back screen, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
As Vivacia had to leave early. Hello, we are back. We had Vivacia had to head off. There was something else going on this evening, but we are back. So, as Kiyo and Solomon, you see this figure about 75, 80 feet above you on the edge of the mesa. It looks like sort of trying to track and follow your movements, perhaps. Solomon, it definitely looks like a human. Like it looks like, looks like you can see two arms, head, like the figure's just shadowed enough, though it looks like it's probably a person up there, but they're staying very low to the bushes and definitely trying to stay out of your line of sight.
Okay. I will try to keep them in sight. Just try to keep a bead on them as subtly as possible. I'm not going to point my rifle or anything, but I will have it at the ready.
All right. So currently, Viola and Olive are investigating this wagon, none the wiser that there is somebody watching them. And Olive, you and Viola both are, she tells you that it looks like this wagon was some kind of traveling sales wagon or something, perhaps.
Okay. I wonder what they were doing out here.
It's a very good question. I don't see any reason a wagon would be out this far, and especially getting it down that trail that we came down would be extremely difficult at best.
I'd assume that they might not have taken a travel here, and more or less it might have been just brought here afterwards. My guess. I don't think someone willingly would go down here.
Well, if they wouldn't willingly go down here, then why is the wagon here? Do you think they're buried with it and we haven't found them yet? Or they're in the bone pile back there?
Yeah, they're probably in the corpse pile.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe whoever dealt with them was trying to hide evidence of it, although that would be odd considering the massive bone pile.
I mean, you're not going to find much in there. Or if you do, you're going to take a long time to go through all those bones, right?
Well, I think even one human skull is indicative of perhaps some foul play, but that's a point as well, that you mix it up with enough animal bones and everything else.
As Sol says this, both Sol and Kiyo, you had noticed the figure watching from the ridge opposite you. You both notice the sound of something. It's distant, and you almost could have missed it, but you hear it. It sounds like something move on the ridge above your heads.
Yeah, Kiyo's definitely going to take a look.
All right, so Kiyo, you look upward to see, and as you do, you see a very large rock descending at very fast speed toward the group of you standing by this wagon. And I'm going to roll randomly to see who the rock is coming down at. So, 2, 3, 4. All right. All right, so Kiyo, you realize that this rock is actually descending swiftly toward you. So, as it descends, you can attempt to dodge out of the way. If you dodge, I'll have a disadvantage on my roll if you're successful at dodging.
All right, time to dodge. Oh yeah, that's definitely a success.
Okay, so I'm going to roll.
That is a 12 over 60.
Let's see. Oh boy. So yeah.
Yes.
So Kiyo, you dodge, and in dodging, you also sort of tackle Olive aside as this large boulder slams down directly on top of part of the wagon that's been unearthed, and wood and glass kind of scatter outward with a resounding poof. Dirt explodes up all around you. What are you all doing?
If
Time to die.
If Kiyo and Olive have gotten out of the way of the rock, I think that the Sol's natural reaction is to pop out and point his rifle at wherever the rock would have come from.
All right, Sol, you point your rifle upward, and you can see two shadowy figures that look like they tossed the rock over the edge down at the cart and at you all.
All right, I think he's going to shout to Kiyo and Olive. I think we need, and the doctor as well. I think we best be leaving. I don't think we're welcome here anymore.
I think we worn it out. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I think he's going to keep a bead on the two of them and just start backing up slowly.
Kia's going to put herself in front of Olive and kind of start backing Olive up, pretty much.
Yeah, put the doctor and Olive in the center and move
circle
out.
Wagons, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, so you start to back away, and you notice you quickly lose sight, Sol, of the two figures that threw the rock down because they back away from the edge. And as you're backing away from the buried cart and sort of backing back up the canyon, you still can see that the one on the opposite side is trying to move very low to the ground and sort of follow your trajectory as you back up and are heading out of the canyon itself.
Okay. Yeah, I figure between Kiyo and him, they can keep an eye on either side. So he'll keep an eye on whatever side he's facing at the time, and trust that Kiyo can do the same.
Of course, she's going to.
All right, so you back out of from the wagon and you start making your way back. You make your way back to the pile of the bones that was laid out, the longer, bigger pile, and no more rocks have been thrown at you as you're backing out and sort of exiting the space.
Small blessings there.
Do you keep going? Do you continue to try to just get out of the canyon itself and head back to town?
Yeah, this feels like an ambush that's already happened and can only get worse.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm following them.
So you all quickly make your way back. You pass the big bone pile. You make your way around. You come back to the first area of the bones kind of spread out. You see the skull impaled on the signpost, and you make your way out. And it's not until you get past that post and kind of back out onto the main trail heading south that both Kiyo and Sol, you completely lose sight of whatever or whoever it was that was tailing you on that other ridge, as if you've gone beyond where they're interested in following you anymore. And you make your way back down and back into Stillwater. It's now probably well after 1:30 in the morning, and the town has gone back. It's quiet again. People seem to have gone back to bed. There's not a lot of lights and things like that, but it's just very quiet, almost as if nothing's happened this evening. Everything is calm and quiet again.
It is 1 a.m, so understandably everybody went to bed.
What are you all doing?
Well, Kia's gonna look to the rest and say, I don't know about you, but something weird there is happening.
Indeed, I think that might be an understatement, but we investigated and nearly died, but we didn't. And if nothing else, Miss Olive, that I'd pay a penny to read that story. So you got something out of it. So I think that perhaps we better get our rest and finish up the rest of our trip tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh.
You all right, Olive?
He almost died.
Yeah, but almost on the counts and horseshoes, ma'am. It's all right. Horseshoes and dynamite.
Hand grenades are a thing in this era, so horseshoe and hand grenades is
I
probably...
couldn't remember. I thought hand grenades might have been World War One. So
grenades are used. Granados and stuff like that were used. Even in with the Persian.
Like ceramic grenades. Yeah.
It's ceramic and metal too, actually.
Okay.
Back in that era.
There you go.
So well early. I am a massive history buff, so yes.
So you make your way back into town. Olive is upset at the fact that you were put into actual danger. It seems somebody didn't want you in the canyon.
You could say someone tried to rock our worlds.
We did smell what Rock was cooking.
You did.
Callie's so disappointed in me. You should be used to this shit by now from me.
I know, I should.
You should be used to just disappointment from me at this point for jokes.
No.
So where do you go? Do you go back to the Sweetwater Saloon for the evening?
I think that's a good order to do for now.
Yeah, if it's 1:30, I figure everybody else is probably closed up. Probably even time for the saloons to be closing.
All right. Yep. So when you get back, indeed, you see Jason is kind of cleaning up in the bar. There's a couple of stragglers heading out. But otherwise, it's pretty quiet in here. He nods as you come through the door, and he's like, "What? Why do you all look a mess? Especially you there, Miss Olive, wasn't it? You're covered in dirt. Look at you. What have you been doing?"
Went to go follow who's shooting off the fireworks.
What'd you do? Go rolling down a hill or something after the fact?
Almost got a rock dropped on our heads, but aside from that, nothing abnormal.
Well, hell, y'all all right?
Live.
Well, that's
You have a
good.
drink? You have a drink that I can get myself?
He puts a glass up on the counter, pops a cork out of the whiskey bottle, and pours you a shot of whiskey.
Much appreciated.
Y'all, Miss Olive, Mr. Hanson, y'all, doctor, drink? Viola's like, no, thank you. She gives a side eye to Olive.
Hey, Mom.
Kiyo offers her Olive a drink.
She gives a bigger side eye to Kiyo. Didn't I tell you all about the dangers of drinking after getting hit on the head?
Good for the nerves. Especially after the night we had. Helps
She
you sleep.
throws her hands up and proceeds to head for the stairs to go upstairs.
Yeah, and I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to sleep just fine on my own. And honestly, I think the drink I'm going to partake in more is going to be that coffee in the morning. So get to bed as soon as y'all are feeling it, but I'm heading up as well.
Well, good night to you. And he looks at Olive questioningly before he closes up the bottle.
Olive says, no, thank you. I'm gonna go upstairs and write. Because that's what I'm good for.
Well, if you need anything, Olive, don't be afraid to knock on my door.
As those of you that are going upstairs to go to bed, ascend the stairs, just roll me listen checks, please.
No.
All right, you all make your way to your rooms and can settle in for the night. Nothing catches your attention.
Kiyo's just going to take a couple drinks and then head back up to her room.
Okay, Kiyo, you can make a listen check too as you go to bed a little bit after they all go to bed.
It's a good roll. I keep clicking the wrong one. Listen, 30. All right. Well, I got a 15 over 30.
Okay, so as you are going to bed and you pass by Duncan's small closet room, and as you're passing the door just after his, which is the one next to Sol's room, you hear from inside this sound coming from
Okay.
inside.
From Duncan's room?
No, this is coming from the room that you know
Okay.
Hiram is staying in.
Okay, then I thought you said Duncan's room. I'm like, oh no, if it's in Duncan's room, then
No, from Duncan's room you just hear...
all right. Yeah, she'll just kind of stand there for a moment, listening, and just shake her head, give a weird look to the door, and just head back to her room.
All right, as you stand for a moment and listen, though, you hear the... There's a pause, and then you hear... it's slightly different tone of, like... And then there's another pause, and then the first one again.
Does this sound like a language or speaking to something?
It's hard to tell. Like, you don't recognize any words. Like, as you stand there and kind of listen to it, it to you sounds like a bunch of hissing and snickering, and maybe somebody's got a really bad case and needing to clear their throat over and over and over again.
All right. Well, Kiyo's on edge even more so, but she's gonna head to her room, and she's gonna definitely sleep in with her gun under her pillow tonight. And yeah, she's just gonna retire to her room and see if she can get a bit of. Probably sleeping a little lighter than she would have been. But I guess I shouldn't say that, because she probably sleeps pretty light to begin with anyways.
Okay, so you go off to bed, and everybody goes to sleep for the evening. And for next morning, who's waking up? When are you waking up? What's going on?
I think Sol's waking up. He typically wakes up pretty early, even if he hasn't gotten the full 8 hours. But yeah, he's going to try to get up probably a little before dawn and head down and start his intake of caffeine.
All right, so you get up, you go downstairs. Samuel is up. He's got like a little bags under his eyes, like maybe he didn't get the best night's sleep, but he gives you a smile when you come down. It's like, good morning. What can I get for you?
Coffee, black as you can make it, and we'll hold off on food until the others wake up. But
all right.
That coffee coming.
Oh, yep. And he grabs the coffee pot and he pours down a cup of coffee for you, hands it over. Can't believe Mr. Lee's fireworks keeping everybody up and making, it was tough getting to sleep last night.
It was. I don't think it was Mr. Lee, though. Apparently he was already in his residence. I don't think he had anything to do with him. You know anybody else who messes around with that sort of thing around here?
No. That's surprising to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a new way of signaling for one of the miners out there or something. Maybe they got something going on. They got to let people know. I don't know, secret code or something.
That's a pretty loud and bright code. I don't know.
Agreed.
Whoever it was a group of them.
Oh, that's a group. Like, how many are you talking? Like 5 people?
10 or 12.
10 or 12 people? Just, what were they doing?
Your guess is as good as mine. I figured that if 10 or 12 people went out in the middle of the night to blow up fireworks in a town like this, somebody might know something, and you might be the person to ask. But if you don't know, then I'm drawing a mighty blank as well.
Yeah, no, I don't know 10 to 12 people who would be hanging about out in the outskirts of town after dark, shooting off fireworks. That's just crazy talk to me.
Mm-hmm. What do you know about the native peoples around here, the local tribes?
Well, the Chiricahua, they live up in the out past the mesa here. You know, they mostly kind of stay to themselves unless anybody kind of goes too far and messes with their land or anything like that. Though there's one fellow, he's got a group that he rides with from in there, and they tend to kind of spread out further, kind of sort of protecting the land, and so there's been some altercations with him. He can be a bit of a, hard-headed about people kind of taking what they're not supposed to, which, I mean, I understand if someone came into my house and took something from me, but I mean, you just got to be careful. Oh, they call him, they got a name for him, like Taza or something like that, I think they call him.
And he's not particularly violent or anything.
Well, I mean, he can be if pushed. I mean, I think his like his full name. Somebody told me, one of the miners once heard it. It was something like Cruzado, I think, was it? And some people think that he picked up this young girl. She went missing, and they kind of think that maybe he took. And they think that he took Mandy, and him and his people took her back, but I don't know. I don't see him doing that. It doesn't seem like something he'd do. If you just ask me, I mean.
Sam, let me ask you: do you folks have a lot of people go missing around this area? Not even people from the town, but people passing by.
I don't know. I mean, well, Mandy went missing. She's from town, and about a month ago, this fella Virgil, he turned up missing from his claim, and no one's seen him. He just was gone one day, and they think that maybe he got taken by Cruzado and his guys too. Maybe he pissed him off or something, and they maybe got into an altercation, and he didn't end up coming out of it okay. But because I haven't seen anything, haven't heard anything about him, so. I mean, I guess.
How about in the traveling salesman? Did you have anybody like that come through town a couple of months ago, maybe?
Oh yeah, we had a fellow come through. He and he kind of points like toward the front door. He's like, I bought some wind chimes off the fella. He came through and he was selling like some wind chimes, and he was selling like these. I think the marshal got this nice like paperweight looking thing. This like kind of stone but kind of it's very pretty, like carved real nice, very smooth. So he got that, and a bunch of other people bought some of these nice wind chimes. Have you seen them around like out on the porches and stuff? That they got like the nice like shine, they kind of shine in the light. They got like these colorful rocks and things that are hanging from them.
I did notice the quantity, especially of wind chimes in this town for certain.
Yeah. So yeah, he came through. God, yeah, it's been I'd say maybe it was 3, 4. Patsy, and Patsy looks up from where she's kind of cleaning up and setting up for the day. That salesman that came through 3-4 months ago. She just smiles. She's like, yeah, 3-4 months ago this fellow came through. Nice guy.
And Sol's just kind of muttering under his breath, well, that's a shame. Yeah, I don't think he's going to share the bone pile or the actual interaction with the shadow figures. But
aside from Kiyo already sharing the almost getting a rock dropped on our heads, but
yeah,
that's just minor details.
Yeah, Jason might have shared that, but he's definitely not going to bring up the bone pile. All right, well, Samuel, as always, thank you for the coffee. Thank you for the conversation. It's always appreciated.
Yes, of course. And at this point, Kiyo and Olive and Viola can have made their way downstairs as well if you want to start.
Kiyo's probably the last one down, but she's all put together and such.
Excellent. He looks at you all and he says, so breakfast for everyone then, right?
That'd be amazing.
Coffee's all around? All right. So
Kiyo
he
kind of shake her head and say, "Miss, I'm okay with it."
Has Duncan made it down?
He does make it down. He actually comes down a little bit after Kiyo, and he kind of comes down. He looks a little befuddled, and he's sort of like scratching at his chin as he comes down, like he looks like he's deep in thought about something.
Uh-oh.
Duncan, you're gonna hurt yourself thinking that hard.
Oh, what? Oh, well, yeah, I can't find my hat. And you all notice his hat is set right on top of his head like normal. I've been looking for it everywhere since I opened my eyes this morning, and it just ain't anywhere to be seen that I can find it.
Kiyo just kind of lean over. Did he hit his head as well?
I don't have half as enough coffee in my system to deal with this bullshit. Somebody else has to.
Duncan,
What?
do this. Do this.
He knocks the hat off, and it falls behind him. He hears it hit, and he turns it. Hey! How'd my hat get on the floor back there? And he leans down, and he picks it up.
It's a mystery, Duncan. It's a mystery.
He kind of starts to wipe the hat off, and turns back and is kind of putting it on his head. And he sort of looks past you all in the direction of the front door, which is behind you. And he says, well, hey, ain't that Barney McGill? And as you start to kind of turn to look where he's kind of looking and pointing, he says, ain't he dead? And you turn in slow motion, kind of, and the door to the bar is open, and there's a man standing inside, but he's got very worn, dirty clothes. They look like they were nice, maybe dress clothes at one point. His skin kind of hangs a little funny, and you see a worm crawl out of one eye socket that's empty as he sort of takes a couple steps into the bar in your direction. And I think we might call it there tonight.
Oh, Lord.
So, as we fade out on Barney McGill's entrance into the Sweetwater Saloon in Stillwater, New Mexico, and the interesting expressions on everyone's face, I would like to think that the doctor's expression is especially concerned, because dead men shouldn't be up and walking about, my friends. We'll leave that to next time. Yay! So, congratulations on avoiding being flattened by a large boulder, Kiyo.
That is I'm very glad I pumped a bunch of points into dodge.
It's very, very good that you did.
Especially considering my debt.
Yes, that's true. And
Kelly, we all made it. It's good.
None of us died this time.
We more than made it, because now a person's back from the dead. That's how successful we were.
It's true. Super true. So why don't we go around, and if anyone has any plugs or anything they'd like to share, we will do that. And then we will say goodbye for the evening. So why don't we start with D-Sword?
Hi, everybody. I am Derek Sword. Yes, Sword is my real last name. Yes, it is awesome. No, you can't have it. I am on Twitter at dsword16. I'm also over on Discord if you want to be friends in either places. That's great. You can find me Saturday evenings for the next 3 weeks over on the Stalwart channel. It's STAULWART. We're taking next Saturday off, but the following two, I will actually be DMing on a stream for the very first time. So we do DM's Guild modules, and I will be doing the Secrets of Skyhorn Lighthouse. I'm super excited to run that. And you might even recognize Paladin Hulk, who I know plays on Uncanny Adventures. Yeah, he's a fantastic role player and everything else. So definitely check us out. Like I said, not next Saturday, but the two after. I am not really streaming anywhere else at this point, but I am super happy and honored and excited that I am the new co-host of the podcast Monster Crush, along with the very lovely Heavenly and Ellie. And you can catch us every 2 weeks, wherever podcasts are found. We post every 2 weeks. And Monster Crush is it's a little spooky. It's always sexy and surprisingly educational. It's a show where we try to find monster love, where we basically play a dating game with several monster singletons, bachelors and bachelorettes, and we alternate who is bait, and we try to find true monster love in a world that is both horrifying and like I said, very sexy. So definitely check us out.
Excellent.
That sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome. And how about Callie, our resident reporter?
Okay. I'm Callie, or Capt Callie on Twitter. I have commissions open all the time. So if you want to commission me. Also, Vex and I are in Retroverse Furry Road on the her Fractured Moon channel, and on Thursday at 4:30. So I play a duck. Because it's a thing. We don't have Retroverse this week because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it works out good because Sammy's currently missing.
Yeah, that it does.
Next game's on my birthday too.
And on Sunday, on Scotty Hood's channel at 10 in the morning, I'm in a Waterdeep game where I play a tiefling, and then at 6:30 that Sunday night on Power Score RPG, I'm in Dungeon Academy. We are in a lot of trouble right now.
What's new?
Mishka the Wolf Spider and Drizzit Draward just showed up out of nowhere just to be, just because.
As a treat.
Just because. And my character punched Strahd von Zarevich in the neck. It was great.
He deserves it.
He hates her, and she hates him. So that's it. You should go check it out. No. No.
This is how true friendships form.
Yes.
All right. And how about you, Vex? What do you got going on?
Well, as Callie said, on Thursdays at 4 p.m. EST, or 30 p.m. EST, I play in Retroverse Furry Road on my channel at Fractured Moon D&D. It's a lot of fun. Our group is just I'm pure chaos in that group, and our group is also pretty good at matching that chaos. Our GM is an amazing. I'm going to plug Uis here. He's an amazing artist. He does all the art, if you've seen it, for Retroverse, and he does dire Pokemon. Oh, it's top tier art. Like, it's mind blowing. Callie's is also amazing. Uis is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then on every. What, Callie? We couldn't hear you there.
I don't compare it to US. Don't even try.
No, hold on. No, I'm going to say this. There's no comparing them because you're both different styles. You both are amazing artists. Uis does sexy really good. You do adorable perfectly, and you're ridiculously fast. You're amazing, Callie. Don't think badly about your art. And like Callie said as well, on Fridays, alternating, so every other week, that she's not on, I'm on in Retroverse at Scotty Hood's channel. Coming up on Saturdays, I will be on a Witcher game on the 22nd on Heroes Without Limits, where I'll be playing a mage, and I will be just all the fire all the time, so it'll be fun. And coming up on my Fractured Moon channel, in the next month or so, I'll be starting a new show up where we're going to be running Saltmarsh.
Ooh.
And I'll be the GM for that.
Fun.
So it'll be weird to GM on stream.
Good
That's
times. Excellent.
That's my list of plugs.
Nice. And speaking of art, Callie did the art for this stream right here. So all these characters on the screen were done by Callie. So you can see adorable. Absolutely. And very quickly done. Oh my god, they were done very fast.
Also, she did all the art for the Furry Road crew as well.
Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for very good art, Callie's somebody to talk to. And I'm Jeanette. This is my channel. We run this game every other week at 7 p.m. Eastern. Every other Sunday, we run a Skull and Shackles D&D 5e game at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and every other Monday there is another Call of Cthulhu Old West game at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, perhaps in the same universe. Should be, because I have to remember which games stuff is which sometimes, because it's like, oh crap, Old West, both crap, who was who? And I also play on Scotty Hood's channel. I'm playing in a game at 3 p.m. on Saturdays and 7 p.m. every other Saturday. One is the Chaos Crew that was on Power Score RPG's channel, and the other is Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And other than that, you can catch up on old games here on Twitch, over on YouTube. I'm posting games as podcasts, so you can find those. Just follow me on Twitter, and I tend to post things, and I put a lot of stuff on. I have a Patreon where I just tend to post everything that's going on. It's kind of my catch-all for everything happening. So, I think that is everything for this evening. Can't think of anything else, but I'm excited to come back in 2 weeks and see what happens, as we have a new guest in the tavern this morning.
I hear he's the life of the party.
Indeed. He's been missed, so we'll have to see what happens. All right, so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for playing. This was so much fun. I'm glad no one got crushed by a rock.
I am too.
And
it would have been me.
Yeah, possibly. So take care, everyone. We'll see everybody pretty soon. Have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.